Greetings, fellow crap and fail correspondents. It is Friday, June 13th, also known as one of the unluckiest days of the year. This is Sean, or James, depending on what you want to call me, and I've been wrangled into making videos by the lovable Steph, the Steph made of awesomeness, because, well, I can't turn her down. And because I wanted to anyways, so it wasn't more so much as a wrangling as it was a, hey, you should do this, and I was like, okay. This video comes in 3 parts, to quote John Green. Part 1 is this introductory ramble, which is almost all the way done. Yay! Part 2. Part 2 is my webcam woes. As you probably noticed by now, I'm using images instead of actually using a video of myself. This is because I don't have a webcam. I went out to get a webcam, I looked all over the goddamn place, Walmart, Best Buy, CompUSA, pretty much anywhere I thought that would have a webcam, and I wanted to get a good one, and the good ones were a little bit out of my price range at the moment. I've got a good chunk of money, but none I can spend, because this summer I've got tons of crazy plans, and if I spend the money, I won't have any money to do the tons of crazy plans, and it'll all just kind of fall apart, and I don't want that. Believe me, I don't want that. So, these first couple videos may just be images. I'm going to try very, very hard to get enough money extra that I can get a webcam. I'm currently unemployed, so that may take a bit, but we'll see how it goes. Actually, there are 4 parts to this video. I obviously can't count. I'm not very good at math, if, you know, kind of like John, I'm not very good at math at all. I can't really do things in my head without paper. Unless it's like addition or subtraction, and then maybe if I focus hard enough. But yeah, part 3! Part 3, I have to give my brother, Eric, a round of applause, because he is the one that helped me make this video. He is a pretty famous YouTube pooper. He's actually one of the most famous YouTube poopers. He has his own, paragraph on Encyclopedia Dramatica. It's all very shiny and awesome. Basically, he does these videos called YouTube poops, which aren't as dirty as they sound, usually. Basically, you take pictures or videos or clips of things, like movies, TV shows, whatever, and you string them together to make them, make a funny situation out of it. Out of context. Like, one of his big things is he takes Sonic the Hedgehog clips from one of the old Sonic shows, and he makes Robotnik say penis, and everybody laughs. It's a big gay laugh, which is good. And I just used gay in its old sense. I wasn't talking about the orientation. No one strangle me, please. But yes, he makes YouTube poops. His current thing is he makes YouTube poops out of this guy named Paul Fetch, who is a YouTube troll who pretty much considers himself crazy awesome and posts videos about how awesome he is. Basically, he loves Paul Fetch, but he hates him. 2 sides of the same coin. Whatever. Part 4. I am going to read part of the prologue of my novel. This is the 6th draft. It's changed so much. I started writing it 2004, the summer of 2004, and it's currently almost the summer of 2008. So this is going on 4 years now. This is the new prologue of the new draft. I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with it, but I thought I'd read it because Steph gave me the idea, which she got from Shy, and I think it's an awesome idea, so I'm going to read it. I'd like criticisms, or, yay, it was good, or boo, it was bad, whatever. I would like to know what you guys think about it. So, I'm going to try to read it in the most dramatic way as I can. So, here we go. Prologue. In the foggy space where dreams reside lies a separate space where reality means nothing. The entire breadth of the universe is laid bare. Time means nothing. Space means nothing. The past, future, and present bleed together and mingle like various shades of paint, smearing the canvas of the mind with a muddled image. Things that would make no sense in the context of the waking world make perfect sense here, despite the sheer surreality of it all. Or perhaps because of it. All that is certain is that nothing is certain. As he stood in the too familiar room with bare white walls, the shaggy-haired young man could not help but think hard on this. He was lucid here inside of his head, trapped in the shiny mental oubliette that had been presented to him. It was a rare occurrence for many, but for him it seemed like it happened every night. Except, even realizing this, he could alter nothing. He could not change the rules or boundaries that were somehow presented for him to overcome. Around him, the whitewashed walls began to shift, as if they were laughing at him. The floor began to melt, turning into something that resembled molten taffy. Even in this place, his body began to sink, up to his knees at first, and then further and further, until only his head remained. The room began to collapse, pressing inwards on itself, dangerously moving towards his revealed cranium. That was when the final tug took him under, and he fell through the shattered glass of memories and feelings, cut to ribbons and reformed after every layer was peeled away. When he landed on solid ground, he was staring up at the bright fluorescent lights of a classroom, surrounded by sweet-smelling poppies. On the chalkboard, scrawled messily, was the image of a multi-spired city, above which someone had written, "Off to see the wizard?" in what appeared to be either red paint or blood. It had an altogether eerie aura about it, and when he blinked, he swore that the image of the city flickered, crumbling and burning. "James, you're late for class," a disembodied voice echoed from wall to wall, ruffling the poppies, causing the thickness in the air to intensify as pollen billowed upwards. "Please, take a seat." The dreamer, James, spun on his knees, looking around the room for the source of the mysterious voice. Where rows of desks should be, only a single one remained in perfect condition, contrasting the discord around it. On the chalkboard, the city was burning again, and the strange question had begun to run, red droplets leaving trails as they slipped down the surface of the board itself. He looked for a door, a way out of this nightmare, but there was nothing, only ragged walls covered in strangely illegible posters, and scribbled pictures of cartoon atrocities. Tiny stick-figure monsters ripped apart tiny frowning stick-figure families. A piece of paper colored entirely black seemed to loom over him, the vast darkness sending strange, tingling sensations racing through his body. Something tugged at the back of his mind, a nagging feeling that he should have recognized the meaning behind what he was seeing, but it was lost in translation. "Mr. Saito, please take your seat. I can't start the exam until you're seated." The voice bellowed. It was louder this time, as if it was coming from everywhere all at once. The desk shuddered and began inching through the field of poppies towards him, menacingly swinging its hinged top. Any other time it would have probably been funny as hell, but right now it was the exact opposite. That is to say, it was the scariest fucking thing he had ever seen. Maybe not as scary as the clown that had showed up to his 3rd birthday party, but close. At least then he had been able to run for his life. Now knee-deep in poppies, his body was sluggish, unresponsive. He couldn't so much as inch in any direction. Just as the desk was closing in on him, something flickered. The pictures on the walls began to move around, sliding across the surface as if propelled by an unseen force. Images flashed along them, random, indiscernible. There was a cross, flames, an arcane symbol, a man wearing cheese on his face, a flower with a needle through the bulb. A screaming face, agony apparent, was followed by a sunrise shining light onto a twisted battlefield. The picture that previously had simply been a black void now had shimmering sparkles of light on it, white dots in the darkness. That was the first half of my prologue, and I will read the other half next time and hopefully do some other stuff too. I want to answer questions as well, so if anybody has some questions for me, please get them in to Steph or to Roland or hell, to Fell, to Shy, whatever. Get them in and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Anyways, I hope to see you guys soon.